Hello, Caitlin and Charles. Here is your sewer scope from today's inspection. That's me in that basement utility room. There's the clean out that I had pointed out earlier. Um, it's a straight drop into cast iron. And your cast iron as far out as I could get, um, is a good thing if you ask me. Um, in a heavily wooded lot, having plastic or cast iron would be the two top preferences. Newer pipe, PVC or ABS, that wasn't readily used back in the 70s when this house was built. So cast iron was their best option, and it's a good one. I would say that the pipe hasn't been addressed, cleaned, managed, maybe ever. So what's happened over the years is this is obviously it's a metal pipe in a very, as you can see, wet environment. So it's going to get corroded. It's going to get scaled. It's very coarse on the inside of the pipe, so it catches things like that, paper products. I'm going to take a break here in a second and turn on some water, flush the toilets, try to move that down the line as best I can. So th that coarseness, that tendency to grab paper products causes the pipe to hold water. You can see if it's that piece right there or a piece further down the line, the water's not flowing, right? So there should not be standing water in the pipe. You want functional drainage. You want the pipe to flow. Ultimately, to skip right to the last chapter, what I'm going to recommend is have the pipe cleaned, have it descaled, and that way, hopefully, that'll clear up any kind of issues when it comes to drainage or holding water, because the pipe, again, should not be holding water. Either there's something that's catching the water, and it doesn't take much. You know, a wad of toilet paper is enough to keep the water from flowing. Um, the hope is that it's not any low spots or anything like that in the pipe. I will say on the return trip, I kept the camera on. I wasn't filming at that point just because when I got out towards the end of this pipe, it was almost 11 minutes into filming, and I didn't want a 15 or 20-minute long video coming your way. So on the way back, there was still one or two places where it was holding water, but definitely not as bad as the initial forward push. What happens sometimes, especially in unoccupied houses, one, pumping a large volume of water through the pipe, and two, just the physical act of me running my camera head. It's about a 14-inch long camera head on a spring, a heavy gauge spring, and then the 3/8 inch cable trailing behind it. That does some work to clear out any obstructions that might be there. Not completely. It doesn't do enough of a job, to clear things out as we need them. And again, you definitely need something like cutter heads coming in to just break up some of that scaling in the pipe. Um, the other downside and issue with a heavily corroded pipe is it starts to get really, really challenging to push the camera head through. There's a lot of drag on the camera head, and again, if you're carrying along, whatever it is, 50 feet, 60 feet, 70 feet of very thick gauge cable, it becomes really, really challenging to push out. Right now, it's hard. I'm able to get another probably 20-ish feet out, but it's kind of inch by inch. I'm going to turn on a lot of water right now and see if that doesn't help. The other thing that I'll do and I'll try is I'll dump a bunch of dish detergent down the line to try to obviously just kind of lubricate things enough where the camera head can push through. The big positive in my mind, here's that big volume of water, is there's no damage. We are draining at this point. It's just where in that beginning and middle section, where are we holding or why are we holding water? And I think, like I said, you can't say for sure, but a good solid cleaning is really what's needed, just to kind of, again, help the water to be able to flow properly. But again, we're pushing through right now. We're not holding any water. I'll get out to about 71 feet or so before I just physically can't push anymore. The other thing is, I've got a 200-foot reel or camera cable on my reel. Cracking that by pushing too hard would not be a fun day for anybody involved. It's I won't tell you what the price per foot for that cable is, but it's very expensive. So having to replace a 200-foot cable is not anything that I want to have to deal with. So we'll get out as far as we can. What I would say, and this will be in the written report, have the pipe cleaned, and then after the cleaning, I would have them re-video the line just to get all the way out to the city connection. Knowing the proximity where the house sits in relationship to the road, most sewer and drain companies don't carry anything more than 140 feet of cable. They may not be able to get to the city connection. They just may not have enough cable to be able to do it. You're more than welcome to watch the last of it. Again, I'm going to get another 10 feet out in little creeps going out there, but I'm not going to get much further than that. Read through the written report and then reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm always happy to be a resource.